Welcome back, you guys. I'm EFC. This is Blue Lions CV, and welcome to the pre-match show before our upcoming game in like about half an hour against Valencia. Now, for you guys that have been wondering where I've been, apologies to you guys. There's been some issues with my camera recently, and at the same time, I'm going to Amsterdam at the end of the week, so I'm going to be celebrating my birthday out in Amsterdam. I've had to do a lot of things in my personal life to get things prepared and sorted for that flight as well. So it just hasn't been, the best last few days for me to really get any videos done. So apologies for that. I don't like not doing videos, not doing the talking points, the player ratings. It makes you feel guilty, but I had things to run. But of course, expect me to be releasing more videos more consistently. Now, I'm going to be doing the match review today and a news video later. Then after that, tomorrow, you guys, more videos. So it's going to be good. It's going to be good. But obviously, you guys, great to see you here again. Of course, let's not waste no more time. Let's look at the lineup. Oops, not. I need to sort that one out still. But as we can see with the lineup, you guys, Kepa in goal. I mean, realistically, who else is going to play in goal, really? Reece at right back, Zuma and Christensen with Azpilicueta at left back. Now, it's been a while since we've seen Christensen back in this team. I can understand it from Frank's perspective. Might have been thinking tomorrow is a bit weak against Man City. Same thing for Emerson as well. That's why Aspie's playing there. And it's quite obvious that Lampard wants Reece in the team, but it seems like, Lampard also values the experience from Azpilicueta. That game against Man City really highlighted what Aspie brings to a team. Now, of course, we've criticised him, and I've criticised him for some of his performances this season. We've seen games like the ones against Ajax, where Promise was in behind him every single time. Games against Sheffield United. So many games this season where he hasn't been as effective. But against Man City, that's when the warrior Aspie comes out. If you want a player that you can rely upon to make the decisive decisions, Aspie's your guy in big games. How many vital blocks did he make? Vital tackles did he make? Etc. etc. And, you get these pivotal moments where if Aspie's not there, maybe City are getting goals. So I understand why Lampard wants that experience and grit in the first team, because personalities like that, they do help you win games. So, of course, I think it's a bit harsh on Emerson. Yeah, a tiny bit. It's his first poor game in a while. Already lost his place in the team. Maybe Emerson's not fully fit just yet. Who knows? Of course, he only came back from injury, and these small little knocks have been really slowing down his progress quite a lot. So hopefully, he keeps working hard, he's on point, and gets himself back in the team. I'm still hoping to see Reece and Emerson on a consistent basis. I really thought that would be, the first choice fullbacks options we'd be seen for this season. So it's unfortunate from that regards. In midfield, Jorginho, Kante and Cover. Now, I was guessing that Lampard was going to go for a 4-3-3 again. Right now, you can't afford not to have Cover in the team. You can never afford to not have Kante in the team. And of course, you can't afford to not have Jorginho in the team as well. So it was always going to be difficult. Lampard might have been thinking maybe a diamond midfield with like Mason Mount as a 10 and Mitchie and Tammy, but I don't think that Tammy and Mitchie go too well together. I think, for a two-striker system, you need to have, there needs to be differences in the strikers. And I think that Mitchie and Tammy are too similar to be playing together. Giroud doesn't have that mobility to really help as well. So that's the best thing Lampard could do right now, is sticking with a 4-3-3. Now, of course, not having Mason Mount in the team, we saw that against Man City, especially down that left-hand side. If Pulisic and Emerson had Mason, maybe they would have dominated even more down that left-hand side. Pulisic could have been focusing more on runs in behind and, attacking the spaces inside the box. When we look at Pulisic, we know that, especially this season, his movement in the final thirds, actually, no, let me be more accurate. His movement in the penalty box is, not elite. Nearly got a bit too carried away then, but it's very good. Very good. He found so many good positions in the box, and against Man City, he couldn't really do that as much because, he had to help with the build-up phase as well. So it is going to be interesting against a Valencia team where, I don't know, the Mestalla Stadium, I've been there before, like all those years back when we beat them 2-1. I think Valencia are definitely here for the taking, you guys, 100%. They're definitely here for the taking, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Mason Mount coming on as a sub in the second half. I think that is going to be his role for right now. I mean, he can't play over Pulisic in this team because, we need that pace, that the running ability from Pulisic as well to carry the ball and attack the spaces from deep. Mason's not really a guy to beat people with the ball. His game's about movement off the ball, that type of stuff. So with this lineup, considering all the players we have, the tactics selection, it makes sense. It does make sense. 4-3-3 in a big game like Valencia, where if we get the win today, our chances of qualifying are basically guaranteed. So it's vital that we do attack well, but most importantly, it's vital that we defend well as well. And of course, having Kante, Corvran, Jorginho, a midfield three, that is going to give us more stability, 100%. Because Valencia are a decent team. Yeah, they do have decent ability. The midfielders like to be on the ball. Guys like your Barrejos, your Kondogbias, etc., etc. So, you know what? Lampard is definitely respecting Valencia, because for us, it's a must-win game. As Tammy said, it's a must-win game. I can tell the players just want to, put that Man City defeat behind them. I think want to come back all cylinders firing against Valencia tonight. But yeah, you guys, that is the lineup for today. I'm expecting a subs. Expect to see guys like your Mounts, maybe Michy Batshuayi up front. Who knows what's going to happen with Pedro or Emerson. But I'm just hoping tonight, you guys, that Tammy Abraham gets good service. Like, the amount of times I get sick and tired of seeing, Tammy finding good areas inside the box, yet he's never found. And, that incident with Emerson against Man City, it was bare stupid. Let's just keep it real. It was stupid. Like, I couldn't find any reason or an excuse for Emerson to not cross the ball in that area. And it's not the first time that I've seen him take shots instead of putting crosses inside the box. And I'm starting to notice now after that Man City game, how often is Emerson really crossing the ball inside the box? He doesn't tend to do that as much. I still think he's a good player. I still think that defensively he's good. And I still think that his ability to help us in our build-up phase is really vital. Hopefully he gets back on point again and, he starts working hard and, making Lampard take him more serious. But maybe reports that he's interested in going back to Italy with Juventus. When players are hearing, when their future's in doubt, sometimes they can go off form a bit. Sometimes their concentration isn't as strong. And maybe this little dip in form of Emerson, could it be because of the interest from Juventus? Who knows? We'll find out as the months go along. What did I say that so wrong then? We'll find out soon though. But you guys, on that note, let me go through some of your questions. I want to answer some of your questions in the live chat. So let's go on. Let me find some guys to ask questions. Ooh. Raphael, Emerson is okay in his one-on-one defending, but he isn't as good offensively. Now, with Emerson, I still think that he hasn't really shown us his 100% form. Of course, we've all seen the highlight clips of his times at Roma, where the guy was unbelievable going forward, beating his men, getting inside the final third, putting in very good crossing deliveries as well. I don't think that we've seen that 100% Emerson just yet. Maybe he needs a bit of time to fully, have some confidence in his body. Because a lot of times with injuries, you guys, football players, it takes them a bit longer mentally to get back in the game because they don't trust their bodies as much. If you just came back, you feel a bit more fragile mentally. You don't want to risk yourself getting another injury because when you're not playing football as a football player, that's the worst mental space to be in. So I would get that from that perspective. Thoughts on Tomori being dropped? Listen, Lampard is keeping that consistency. He understands that a club like us, you need to have every player, their mentalities have to be on point. They need to always play with conviction. They need to play with that confidence as well. And they need to understand that to play in the first team, it's like a culmination of all your hard work and your efforts. So Tomori wasn't his greatest game against Man City, on the ball. At times, I've said this about Tomori quite a lot. When games start normally, his passing can be a bit sloppy. And I think that's a lot of times to do with inexperience, his youthfulness as well as playing at such a high level already. I think sometimes the nerves set in a tiny bit for Tomori, but as the game goes on, he improves. But of course, you need to be on point from the first minute to the last minute. I'm not too worried though. He's only 21 years old. He's done very well for us this season. But again, Lampard's told the squads, if you want to play in the first team, you need to be on point. You need to work hard. Your training has to be good as well. And maybe Lampard might be thinking, at the same time, I'm using 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 19-year-olds. You can't play these guys week in, week out consistently. Sometimes they need a bit of rest, So maybe this could be Another reason why Tomori isn't playing against Valencia. But again, it'll be good to see Christensen come back. Christensen's been unlucky every time he's not in the team because of his injuries. Someone else always replaces him and ends up doing quite well. So he's been very unfortunate in that sense. Christensen is still another great young defender we have. And I'm just hoping that with all our young defenders, they consistently getting a lot of good game time this season. You know, I don't want to be in a position where Christensen's thinking maybe it's best for me to leave the club and go elsewhere, because I think he's a very good player. Let's not forget his season under Conte. Let's not forget what he's done at Borussia Mönchengladbach as well. The guy's very good on the ball. So hopefully him and Zuma will look good today. And if anything, it just cements the fact that Zuma is Lampard's first choice defender right now. So again, that's interesting to see. But anyway, we move on. Nina, you're too inconsistent. No player ratings video from after Man City. On Yanka, yeah, man, at the start of the stream, I stated reasons why I didn't have the videos out. Apologies for that. Amit, thoughts on no Mount? But, we're using a 4-3-3. You're not going to use Mount as your winger on the left because it implies that you'd have to carry the ball, beat your men, and there's going to be space to run with the ball. And Mason's all about his movement off the ball. So, it makes sense that in a system like this, you need to have players that are more suited to playing like wingers compared to playing like cams. So I'm okay with that. And let's not forget, with Azpilicueta behind Pulisic, the last thing we need is Mason Mount on the left, because Mason Mount's about helping that build-up phase. He's about helping the fullbacks get in the final third. And realistically, Azpilicueta isn't the guy in the final third, especially down the left-hand side. Down that left-hand side, we've seen it under Mourinho. Defensively, he's good, but from an offensive point of view, he doesn't really offer anything. So, again, it makes even more sense why Pulisic is playing and starting on the left-hand side. But anyway, we move on. Max Lev, imagine Chilwell, James, Samoria, and Koulibaly. Yeah, I don't know why Zuma's not in your back line, bro. Anyway, we move on. Kai Havertz, I'll be speaking about him after the match with you later tonight. So you guys, make sure you stay tuned for that. Okay, bro. N'Golo Kante, he's the best midfielder. I love him, I swear. Of course, you've got good taste. Kante, one of the best midfield players in the world. Even his game against Man City, another good game, another well-taken goal. And I really think that N'Golo can get to 10 goals this season in all competitions, which will be massive for a player who a lot of people thought that he couldn't do anything in the final third. But, N'Golo is a much more complete player than a lot of people have realised. And it's kind of annoyed me, I'm seeing guys like Jamie Redknapp really praising Lampard for how he's using Kante more than just a DM. And it's just like, hold on a second. Are you forgetting everything that Sarri did last season? Where was this energy for Sarri last year? You guys know I love my consistency. Just keep it consistent. That's all I ask for. But of course, it took people a very long time to realise that Kante is more than being a DM or a ball-winning midfield player. And that's great to see. Against Man City, some nice pieces of skill. And what I'm liking about Kante is that he can really run the ball. His skills are really good. Close control is really good. And this is why he's such a complete midfield player. But anyway, we go on. Jermaine, what you say, man? Where's Hudson-Odoi? He's not fully fit. Of course, when he went to play for England, that game against Kosovo, he did have a slight hamstring injury, something slight, and that's why his performance wasn't too great against them. So, with Hudson, he needs a bit of time. I'm willing to give Hudson a few months, just really acclimatise and, start having some faith and confidence in his body again. Because, when you're out for that long, when you're such a young player, and it's going to take you a while to fully do what you normally do. And I think we can all agree we aren't seeing the Callum that we already know. He's not running with the ball as much. And I think that could come down to, just coming back from injuries. If he had a pre-season, it would have been completely different for him. But, what can he do? Anyway, Super Chat. Thank you, Michael Zama. Do you think we can win the UCL? I got to be realistic. Probably not. And that's based on our performances against the big teams. Now, again, our performances have been good. We've competed. We've gone toe-to-toe. A lot of times, most clubs aren't going to approach the games against Liverpool and Man City like we did. To have more possession against Man City at home, at times to dominate Liverpool's midfield in 2 games as well. There's a lot of positives happening right now. But I just think as a team collective at this moment in time, it's a hurdle too far. And it comes down to the details. And I think that's one thing we're noticing this season. You know, our planning in the details tactically is very good, but the application from the players hasn't been as great. You know, at times, unnecessary mistakes. And every big game we've played in, there has been an individual error that's cost us a goal. And in the Champions League, you know, teams that win this tournament, they're on point every single time. They can't afford to make a single mistake. If they have one opportunity in a game, they're taking it. And right now, I don't think we're clinical enough, and I don't think we have that. You know, we have too many individual mistakes in our game. So I think it's a hurdle too far. But I'll be proud if we can get to the quarterfinals, semi-final at least. As long as we put in good performances, that's all I care about, because for our first development, that's the best thing. But anyway, thank you for that super chat, bro. We move on. Thank you, Stuart. How do we integrate Ruben into the midfield? It's very simple. Ruben replaces either Quova, probably not Kante or Jorginho. I'll be honest with you guys, I can expect guys like Quova and Jorginho to rotate a bit more. Ruben has to be in this team because he has that goal threat, and I think that's needed. You know, last season he got like 10 goals, barely playing any games. Let's not forget that. Barely played any games, still got 10 goals, and he really showed us what he adds to the team. And one thing that I loved about Ruben last season was that galvanizing effect he had on the team. You know, certain players, like the very good ones, they come on and they get an entire team playing better. I saw that in Eden Hazard. I saw that with Ruben last season as well. You know, I think that Ruben, he can have that talismanic effect that we haven't had since Hazard's left us, because Ruben has that X factor. He can produce magic from nowhere. His skill, his goals, playing in a 4-3-3 as a box-to-box in his best position. It makes a lot of sense. And at the end of the day, the club gave him a big contract for a reason, because they believe in him. They know what he can provide. Lampard rates him a lot. For me, if it's someone like a Ruben, Kante, and either one of Quova or Jorginho in midfield, I think that's good enough. And let's not forget, just because a midfield player doesn't start, doesn't mean that he won't have some involvement in the game as a substitute. So it's them ones where it's like, we got to get used to it. You know, I look at Liverpool, I look at Man City, I look at some of the big teams in Europe. They really rotate their midfield players a lot. And I think that's like the future of big teams in modern day football right now. So, you know what? Even if one of these guys doesn't start, it doesn't mean that they won't have an important part to play in the season. But again, I'm ready for Ruben to come back. I'm hoping that he comes back this month. It's been such a long time, and you know what? I still can't get over the fact how he picked up his injury in the first place. I mean, the club, it's like one of the most preventable things ever. And who knows what would have happened if Ruben's still fit, you know? Maybe we have a few more points. I mean, who knows what happens to you guys? But hopefully he comes back fully fit, fully confident, and fully strong. And at that point, you guys, let's move on. I'm going to be on for the next 8 minutes before I keep it moving. Sorry about this, you guys. Boom. All right, cool. Usain Blake. Christensen is going to show everyone today why I should start alongside Zuma from now on. Possibly, you know, let's not sleep on Christensen. Christensen's very good at moving the ball. Honestly, before he, can I say lost his place in the team? I mean, he got an injury. But let's, you know, for the sake of this live stream, he lost his place in the team. I still thought before that he was looking okay. I thought he was looking decent. You know, I rate Christensen a lot. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But again, Lampard's saying if you want that first team spot, you better fight for it. It's as simple as that. Okay, Joseph, Kepa is not Chelsea standard. We are going to have to buy a new keeper in 2 years. I don't rate his natural reflexes and natural positioning and how he reads the game. I mean, that's stuff that can't be coached. You know, well, let's give him a bit of time. Let's give a bit of patience. You know, how many times have you seen keepers be a bit inconsistent for at least a season or two before they really develop and blossom? You know, De Gea was a prime example of that. It took maybe 2-3 seasons to fully, you know, get that confidence of being like a top class keeper for a top club. I feel like maybe with Kepa, listen, we signed this guy for his passing ability. Last season, you know, it was important because of how we were playing under Sarri, the emphasis on playing out from the back as well. Kepa had lots of passing options everywhere. This season it's a bit different, you know, we're not as extreme with our possession as we were last season. And I look at Kepa sometimes and he doesn't have anyone to really pass to. Most times his options are hitting a long ball to Tammy or playing it out short to the centre-backs or the full-backs. So, you know what? I think that Kepa can still develop. You know, I think Kepa was signed as a ball-playing goalkeeper. But I think that with time and patience, he could really grow and, you know, focus on other aspects of his game. We got to keep it real. We spent a fortune on this guy. We gave him a massive contract as well. It's not as simple as just getting rid of a goalkeeper and signing someone else. But at the same time, he has been a bit poor. I don't like that his concentration hasn't been as effective. A lot of individual mistakes on top of that as well. Some of the diving is really slow. And it's quite inconsistent. So I'm hoping that Kepa's just having a bit of bad form at this moment in time. I'm hoping that he does get back and does, you know, come back fully prepared and just mentally sharp again. You know, I think he's got some ability to him, but it might be a time where we have to just be patient. I mean, he's only, 24 years old. Let's wait till he's 25, 26. But anyway, you guys, let's move on. Prediction for the game. I'm going to be going for a win because we need to win this game. I'm going to go for a clean sheet, you guys. I think that with this midfield and with our defence as well, it looks like Lampard is definitely focusing on that, you know, our play off the ball and our defensive structure off the ball as well. You know, with Aspie playing as a left back, and you know, guys like Christensen, a midfield three of Kovac, Jorginho, and Kante. I think that we're going to play a lot more discipline today. So I'm going to be going for a 2-0 win against Valencia. Let's hope that happens. The official Tamino Nini, what impact would the Jorginho, Kovac, Mason, Kante trio have when Ruben comes back? What impacts would they have? I'm trying to figure out what you mean, bro. What impacts would the Jorginho, Kovac, and Mason Kante trio have when Ruben comes back? Maybe I'm just being bare slow right now. It's just not. It's not making sense to me right now. Apologies for that, man. But again, I think that when Ruben comes back, he'll have to fight for his place in the team because Lampard sold everyone, every player in the team. There's no favourites right now. I think maybe one of the defenders or Kepa. They're the only two guys. Everyone else, if you want your first team spot, you got to fight for it. Another super chat here. K-Sides, thank you, bro. Much love from New Jersey. Just started following this channel and I'm on a binge. Appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot. Yeah, as I said, you guys, I'm going to keep things wrapped up soon. You know, apologies again for not releasing content. As I said, has some issues with my camera. This one was acting up, but I got the other camera here, which saved the day. And yeah, of course, I'm going to Amsterdam at the end of this week. So I've been doing a lot of things in preparation. You know, a lot of buying clothes, shopping, getting stuff prepared, suitcases, etc., etc. So yeah, apologies for not having the videos ready, you guys. But again, from now on, everything's going to be just as it normally is. I've got probably 3 more minutes before I keep it moving. Mehul, Nini, what do you think our midfield will look like once everyone is back? As I'm saying, it's got to be Ruben, Kante, and either one of Kovac or Jorginho. I'd go for Kovac because Kovac's press resistance is so unique. I think him in tandem with Ruben, you know, I can just imagine the combination between these two. Imagine Kovac and Ruben together. Kovac deeper, beating that pressure. You know, we beat the midfield alliance from the opposition team, which means that Ruben can run into space. Kovac plays him in. Ruben can carry the ball, glide past people. Kante supporting him as well. It could be beautiful, you guys. It could be very beautiful. And it could be the ones where it's like certain games to go for Kovac, certain games to go for Jorginho. For those 4 midfield guys, though, it's a top midfield. Okay, Luke, how will Hudson-Odoi and Ruben reach full potential because of injury? Patience, you know, I'm not going to reach their full potential this season. With Hudson-Odoi, it's going to be multiple seasons because he's still very young. I think that's something that we all understand right now. With Ruben, let's hope that he comes back and he's just looking good and he's looking healthy, you know? Okay, we go on. It's Michael, Jorginho or Fabregas. Oh, of course, they're a bit different. I'll go for Fabregas only because he's one of the best passers of the ball I've seen. Fabregas is a legend in the game. One of the best midfield players as well. And yeah, I kind of personally feel like maybe Sarri made a mistake letting Fabregas go so early. And it just gets me thinking even more, even though I got a lot of love for Sarri. You know, I like him a lot. some of his decisions, like if we didn't have a number 8 midfielder, why didn't he use Fabregas instead of forcing Korver and Barkley to play a role that they're not suited to? I mean, of course, Fabregas can play that role. We've seen how he does when he makes those late man runs inside the box and playing between the lines. I don't know. But again, we move on. And I'm going to answer one more question. Your homie 24. Fabregas is an all-time great. I like Jorginho, but he's not on that level. I think that's fair to say. I think maybe off the ball, defensively, Jorginho is a bit better. But I think on the ball, I think there's a clear level between what Jorginho does and what Cesc does. Cesc plays a lot of accurate, difficult passes, much more consistent, way more consistently than Jorginho does. Which is, there's nothing wrong with saying that in my opinion. And the final question, Antioni, sorry if I just mess up your name, bro. Nini, would you like to see Timo Werner at the bridge next season? Hey, you know what? That segues in nicely. Before I go to Amsterdam, I'm going to be doing another tier list video where I'm going to just be ranking who I think we should sign and who we shouldn't. So that's going to be a fun one for you guys. And you know what? Just so I can wrap things up and keep things moving now, because obviously the game's starting in literally 2 minutes, you guys. Today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. As I'm stressing all the time, every time it's a match day, the OneFootball app is very convenient, very convenient because of the quick access to information, fixture news, etc, etc, etc. You guys, if you want to help me out, if you want to help yourselves out as well, you'll find a link to the OneFootball app below in the description, so make sure you guys get that. I'm going to wrap things up, you guys, and keep things moving now. Of course, expect there to be the match review right after the game, and expect there to be a news video later this evening, probably say 10:30 p.m. UK time. So I'll see you guys there. I'm in EFC. This is Blue Lions TV. Come on, Chelsea. I'll see you guys in a bit.